Please don't ever harm the old and the young of this house. We will hasten to the prefecture in the morning and file a petition for release and make our confession. All we want is peace for both the living and the deceased." On hearing this, Pilgrim cried, "Burn paper money. I'm going." The whole family gathered at once to burn paper money. With outstretched wings, Pilgrim flew up and soared straight to the magistrate's house. As he looked down, he perceived light, for the magistrate had already risen. When he flew into the central hall to look around, he saw a painting hanging in the middle, the subject of which was an official riding a horse with black spots. Behind him were several attendants, one carrying a blue umbrella and another an armchair. Pilgrim, of course, could not tell what was the story behind the painting, but he flew up to it and set lead in the middle of the scroll. Presently the magistrate emerged from his room and bent low to wash his face. Suddenly Pilgrim made a loud cough, so scaring the magistrate that he dashed back into his room. After finishing his washing and combing his hair, he donned a long coat and came out once more to burn incense before the painting and intone this petition. "To the divine tablet of my deceased uncle, Duke Jiang Qianyi. Blessed by ancestral virtue, your filial nephew, Jiang Kunsan, succeeded in passing the 2nd and 3rd degrees. He is now favored with the appointment to the magistrate of the Bronze Estrade Prefecture. To you we have offered night and day without ceasing incense and fires. Why, therefore, do you make a sound this day? I beg you not to work the work of a monster or evil spirit, lest the family members be terrified." Chuckling secretly to himself, Pilgrim said, "So, this is the picture of his father's elder brother." He made use of the opportunity, however, to say to the magistrate, "Kunsan, my worthy nephew, you have honored your ancestral inheritance by ever being a clean and upright official. How could you, therefore, be so foolish yesterday as to have regarded 4 sage monks as bandits? Without making a thorough investigation, you sent them to jail. Now the god of the jailhouse, the local spirit, and the city deity are highly disturbed. They have reported the matter to King Yama, who sent me in the custody of a ghost guardian to inform you that you should examine every aspect of the case and quickly release them. If you don't do this, you will be asked to go and answer for yourself in the region of darkness." Alarmed by what he heard, the magistrate said, "Let my uncle withdraw his presence. When your humble nephew ascends the hall, he will immediately release them." "In that case," said Pilgrim, "go burn paper money. I'll go back to report to King Yama." The magistrate thus added incense and burned paper money to offer his thanks. Pilgrim flew out of the hall, and he found that it was beginning to grow light in the east. By the time he reached the numinous Earth District, he saw that the district magistrate had already seated himself in the official hall. "If a midge speaks," thought Pilgrim to himself, "and someone sees it, my identity may be revealed. That's no good." He changed, therefore, into the huge magic body. From midair he lowered a giant leg, which completely filled the district hall. "Hear me, you officials," he cried. "I'm the wandering spirit sent by the Jade Emperor. I charge you that a son of Buddha has been wrongfully beaten in the jail of your prefecture, thus greatly disturbing the peace of the deities in the 3 regions. I am told to impart this message to you, that you should give him an early release. If there is any delay, my other leg will descend. It will first kick to death all the district officials of this prefecture. Then it will stamp to death the entire population of the region. Your cities finally will be trodden into dust and ashes." All the officials of the district were so terrified that they knelt down together to kowtow and worship, saying, "Let the noble sage withdraw his presence. We will go into the prefecture at once and report this to the magistrate. The prisoner will be released immediately. We beg you not to move your leg, for it will frighten these humble officials to death." Only then did Pilgrim retrieve his magic body. Changing once more into a midge, he flew back inside the jail through the crack between the roof tiles and crawled back to sleep in the rack. We now tell you about the magistrate, who went up to the hall. No sooner had he displayed the placard announcing his readiness to hear a case than the Ko brothers took it in one of their bosoms and cried aloud on bended knees. The magistrate summoned them inside, where they submitted their petition for release. When the magistrate saw it, he grew angry and said, "It was only yesterday that you filed a complaint of loss. We caught the thieves for you, and the stolen property was returned to you. Why did you come today to submit petition for release?" Shedding tears, the two of them said, "Venerable Father, the spirit of your humble subjects' father manifested itself last night to say to us, the sage monks from the Tang court were the ones who had originally captured the bandits. It was they who recovered our possessions and released the bandits. Out of goodwill, they decided to send back in person the stolen goods in order to repay our hospitality. How could you turn them into thieves and send them to jail to suffer?" So overwrought were the local spirit and the city deity that they reported the matter to King Yama. "King Yama told me to come in the custody of a ghost guardian to tell you to file another petition with the prefecture for the release of the Tang monk. Only that will avert further disasters. If you don't do this, both the old and the young of the family will perish. For this reason, we have come to submit our petition for release. We beg the Venerable Father to grant us our request." When the magistrate heard this, he thought to himself, "Their father happens to be a corpse that's still warm. A newly departed showing itself is not an unusual phenomenon. But my uncle has been dead 5 or 6 years. Why did he too show his spirit last night and ask me to release the prisoners? They must be wrongfully accused." As he deliberated with himself, the district magistrate of the numinous Earth District came running up the hall, yelling, "Your Honor! It's bad! It's bad! Just now the Jade Emperor sent the wandering spirit down here to order you to release quickly some good people from prison. Those monks you caught yesterday were not bandits. They are all sons of Buddha on their way to acquire scriptures. If there is any further delay, all of us officials will be kicked to death. Our cities, including the entire population, will be trodden to dust and ashes." Paling with fright, the magistrate at once commanded the clerk of justice to issue a placard for the prisoners to be brought out. When this was done immediately, 8 Rules said sadly, "I wonder what sort of beating they'll give us today." With a laugh, Pilgrim said, "I promise that you won't receive a single stroke. Old Monkey has led everything. When you go up to the hall, don't you kneel, for he will step down to ask us to take the seats of honor. Let me demand from him the return of our horse and luggage. If anything is missing, I'll beat him up for you to see." Just as they finished speaking, they arrived at the entrance to the hall. The magistrate, the district magistrate, and the officials of the prefecture and district all descended the hall to meet them, saying, "When the sage monks arrived yesterday, we did not manage to question you carefully, partly because of the urgent necessity to go meet our superiors, and partly because we were distracted by the sight of the stolen booty." Pressing his palms together in front of him and bowing, the Tang monk gave another thorough account of what had happened. The various officials all confessed, saying, "We've made a mistake. We've made a mistake. Please do not blame us. Please do not blame us." Then they asked the Tang monk whether he had lost anything in jail. Pilgrim now walked forward, glowering, and declared in a loud voice, "Our white horse was taken away by someone in this hall. Our luggage was snatched by the people in jail. Return them to us quickly. It's our turn today to interrogate you all. You have wrongly seized common folks and accused them of thievery. What sort of crime should you be charged with?" When the officials saw how violent he had become, there was not a single one of them that was not scared. They immediately told those who had taken the horse to bring it back, and those who had taken the luggage to return it. Even after all these items were turned over piece by piece, the 3 disciples continued to display their pique. Look at them. The various officials could only use the Ko family as their excuse. Trying to be the peacemaker, the Tang monk said, "Disciples, we won't get to the bottom of this here. Let's go to the Ko household. There we can confront and interrogate any witness. Let's find out who it was who saw me as a robber." "You are right," said Pilgrim. "Let Old Monkey call up the dead and ask him to identify his murderer." Sha Monk at once helped the Tang monk to mount the horse right there in the prefectural hall. In a body, they rushed out, shouting and bellowing. The various officials of the prefecture and the district all went to the Ko house also. Ko Liang and his brother were so terrified that they went to their front door and kowtowed without ceasing. When the visitors were received into the living room, they could see that inside the mourning parlor members of the family were still weeping behind the funeral drapes. Pilgrim called out, "That old woman who used slander to injure common people, stop crying. Let Old Monkey summon your husband here. Let him tell us who the real person was who slew him. That ought to put a little shame in you."